Who honestly eats a cake and has a leg massage at the exact same time? Blah, blah, that's the most diabolical piece of shit I have ever given to my taste buds. That's the Kingsman in a nutshell.
If when the morning comes, you're not with me, I know that you'll return with destiny.
Special shout out to my good friend Mr. TARDIS11 slash Ollie Pajak because me and him both have extremely similar thoughts about this one. Well, what a royal fucking pain that was. The Kingsman, directed. Oh, wait. Directed's kind of an exaggeration, isn't it? By Matthew Vaughn, and is the totally necessary, totally asked for prequel to the Kingsman franchise. Of course, postponed from its 2020 release to 2021 due to the COVID pandemic. But was this delayed movie worth the wait, unlike the others? Well, we're about to find out. So the Kingsman tells the story, which will feel like the most draining history lesson you have ever sat through in your life, and as a total tonal departure from the first two movies, in which Ralph finds his character doesn't want his son comrade to go off to World War One, and there's this villain behind the scenes in the Himalayas who wants to start World War One, and blah blah blah. Did you actually fast forward the plot description in my video? I knew you did, because there's no way none of you actually give a flying shit about the plot. I'm being real with you guys. I was never crazy about the idea of a Kingsman prequel from the start. I mean, I would have much preferred a third Kingsman movie, you know, and why not have a great Kingsman trilogy, even though Golden Circle isn't great, but it's still perfectly all right, I guess. But that ain't the case with the Kingsman. The Kingsman was 100 times worse than I ever could have imagined. I mean, I am still puzzled by how atrocious this movie is and how much I truly hated it with a passion. I mean, this is a uh, by a country mile the worst Kingsman movie. Golden Circle looks like a real game changer now in comparison to this shit. I mean, and it's easily Matthew Vaughn's worst movie. It's the black sheep of Matthew Vaughn's filmography. I mean, his direction and his vision for this pile of crap is so messy and unfocused that it's as if he was trying to make a World War One movie, a 1917-esque movie, more than a Kingsman movie. I'm sure plenty of schools for years to come will play the Kingsman in history classes, and but I feel the greatest sympathy for any school student that has to be subjected to this. Matthew Vaughn, when are you going to get it into your head? Kingsman movies are supposed to be fun. They are supposed to be slick, and they're supposed to be straightforward. You don't need to make it this dreary, this dark, this complicated to the point where my brain was going hit numb trying to think about it. I mean, I felt so sick after watching this disaster piece. I felt like like you do when you have a fever and have to stay in bed for a day or two. Matthew Vaughn, if I wanted to watch freaking 1917, then I would, because that knows what it wants to be. I don't want to see that shit in the Kingsman. I mean, even if the actors are, putting in their best efforts. You know, Ralph Fiennes and Artisan, especially. But the characters are either boring as fuck, or wasted. I mean, they especially wasted the shit out of Gemma Arterson's character. The best Gemma Arterson role I've seen is still her role as Gretel in Hansel and Gretel the Witch Hunters, and why did she put on her a Northern English accent for this movie? There was no real reason to, as this takes place in Southern England, and I mean, you would think she would be the strong female lead, but no, she is totally underused in all the action. She doesn't even get to do a jack shit in the final battle. Ralph Fiennes' father and son story of Comrade is just a live action Finding Nemo done awful. I mean, Ralph Fiennes as the lead. He's a character that just goes through grief almost the entire fucking runtime, to the point where you don't have much fun being spending time with him. And Comrade. I mean, why would Comrade be so dumb as to throwing his life away so foolishly and taking his father for granted and not listening to his father? I mean, and when Comrade gets killed in World War I mean, my God, this is so grim. I feel like I'm at a freaking funeral, not watching a movie. And even the World War I scenes were shit. I mean, there were no inspiring moments. Heck, Wonder Woman did the World War I scenes infinity times better, and so did 1917 and Warhorse. And Digimon Honsu's character, I could not give a stuff about. I mean, he's the Merlin of the group, but he's literally only there to be Ralph Fiennes' bodyguard. That's it. No other character trait. I wish Gemma Arterson's character got to go up to the Himalayan mountain to take out the villain with Ralph Fiennes instead of him, in all honesty. And the, shaggy bearded villain who is set up to be the main antagonist at first. He's the most wasted movie villain I have ever seen since Captain Phasma from the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I mean, I can, no joke. I mean, he only gets 5 minutes of screen time, one fight, and then is killed off out of the movie. And just the scene he shares with Ralph Fiennes where he's munching on cake while giving Ralph Fiennes a leg massage, I mean, and touching up his leg, that was pure uncomfortable. Matthew Vaughn, I don't know what sick fantasies or leg fetishes were going through your mind actually directing that shitty and gross scene, that I had to pause the movie and throw up in my toilet for 5 minutes straight. Blah, blah, blah. And the opening scene is the shittiest beginning to a movie I have seen in so long. I mean, why is it every father and son story, well, almost everyone, feels the need to sideline the mother? Or that opening scene alone made me done with this movie, and that opening alone was worthy of a 0-star rating. And the twist villain, oh my God, the words cannot express how abysmal this twisty twist villain is. And the screenslaver from Incredibles 2 gets hate, I mean, but this but this twist villain, I mean, just made me shout for the last time, I don't want any more fucking twist villains. I mean, and the way he would abuse and treat the Himalayan mountain goats he kept like crap just really upset me and hurt me. I mean, animal cruelty is in movies is disgusting, but at least the goat got to stab him through the leg with its horn. And the pacing was so extraneously long and sluggish. I could hardly wait to just turn this movie off. I mean, heck, a slug that was going purposely slow could outrun the pacing of this piece of shit. Even the setup of the Kingsman at the very end doesn't feel like the grand moment that it wants to be, because the Kingsmen were kind of already established before the ending, so it's not a special reveal in the slightest. When it was all over, I just asked myself, what the actual fuck was the point of wasting 2 hours of my life watching that? I mean, overall, The Kingsman is by far the worst prequel I have ever seen in my life. And I have no regrets putting it on my top 10 worst movie list of 2021. I mean, I I cannot believe the Fantastic Beasts movies gets more criticized than this shitty prequel. Well, let me tell you now, Kingsman, Secrets of Dumbledore in April is going to be 1,000,000,000 times the prequel that you are. It's going to gross infinitely more money and get infinitely better reviews. I give The Kingsman 0 stars out of 5. Fuck this movie. Yeah, after this, I am done with the Kingsman franchise. Just done. I mean, and but if they should make a third one day, I'll at least hold out hope that it's is an apology for this as well. Well, I think I thank you. Unfortunately, I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. And what are your thoughts on the Kingsman? Are you with me in that it's the worst Kingsman movie ever made, or do you actually think it was an enjoyable prequel and you take it over Golden Circle? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time when I give you one of the extreme rants I have been building up to for the past 3 months, when I actually have the balls to check out Ice Age Adventures of Fuck Wild on Disney Plus. Fuck. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.